Hey, welcome to another reading vlog. We're doing a 24-hour challenge today because we just love the torture. There's different versions of a 24-hour reading vlog. I'm going to do the version where you start and stop the timer every time you pick up the book and start reading. We're going to pause the timer every time I need to eat, sleep, or do anything else and get anything done. And we're just going to be seeing how many books I can read within this time period, how many pages I can get through. So I have a little footage from this day, and I started around 3:30 p.m. on August 7th. I knocked some hours out that day just to get a head start. Tried to finish Dance of Thieves, which is the book I'm currently reading. I started on page 166 because I had previously read pages before. As you can see, I finished Dance of Thieves, and that brings us to now. Hi, it is now the next day. It is Thursday. I started last night on Wednesday. I finished one book. I'm now on Vow of Thieves. I read it for a half hour this morning, so not too much. I have 18 hours, 17 minutes, and 47 seconds left, so I read for almost 6 hours yesterday, which is pretty good. I read 340 pages yesterday. Starting in the summer, I've been doing reading vlogs to get rid of my physical TBR and get through that. I started off with 50 books on my physical TBR, and I believe I'm down to 38 right now. We'll see how much more I can bring that down in this video. We're just gonna hang out for the next 24 hours or so and get some reading done, see what books I get to. Welcome to this 24-hour reading vlog. I hope you guys enjoy, and we will just continue reading and try to get my time down. So I wanted to give a little bit of an update and update you guys on what I've been reading since I haven't talked about it yet. I am like 7.5 hours in. I have 16 hours and 40 minutes left to go. I'm reading the Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves duology by Mary E. Pearson. If you don't know, this is a duology, but then there's the Remnant Chronicles trilogy that comes before this. It's set before this, and you meet characters that are side characters in this duology, but you're introduced to the world in that one, and that's why I read that trilogy a while ago. I didn't really care for it. I didn't feel a connection with the characters, and the plot is honestly like a very basic borderline fantasy plot. There's not too much to it. They were average reads for me, but I did read those to get into this duology because I've heard so many great things about these two books. Like I said, I finished Dance of Thieves last night, and I gave this 4 stars. I really like it. Now I'm on Vow of Thieves, and I am 136 pages into this. These two, I am kind of getting the same feelings that I did with Remnant Chronicles with the plot. I still feel like it's a super basic fantasy, but I'm enjoying these two a lot more than I did the trilogy. I like these characters a lot better. I still don't have a connection to them or a strong connection to them, but I'm liking them a lot. I just find myself more intrigued by what is happening. It's basically just a fantasy about betrayal, not knowing who to trust, and just getting through these kingdoms, seeing who's ruling these different kingdoms and how they are going about it and who they are trying to take down in secret. So there's a lot of mysteries and secrets going on that I really enjoy. This duology is about our main character. I don't know how you pronounce her name, but I've been pronouncing it Kazi. She grew up as a thief, not knowing who her father is, and then her mother actually got taken away from her when she was 6 years old, so she's been on her own since then. She really struggled to get through her younger years and whatnot, but now she's actually working for the queen. She and her group that she's working with get sent to this city to take down kind of this outlaw family, or they're trying to find this captain that is most likely hiding in this city. But then things happen. She kind of gets off track. She meets somebody else, and then they have to survive a little bit and get back to where they were supposed to go. These are dual POV, which I'm really liking. At first I was a little hesitant about it just because I didn't know the characters yet, but once you get to know the characters, I really like that we have the dual POV. So yeah, I'm enjoying these so far. I don't think there's too much to it. I don't know if I'm really gonna love them, but I did give Dance of Thieves a 4 stars and Vow of Thieves I'm liking pretty much the same amount. I don't know if I'm gonna like it more. I tend to like the first book in series more than the second book or any of the other books in the series. I think it's just because I'm getting introduced to that world and the plot line and the characters, and I'm really just enjoying that new feeling. As we go through series, I tend to not like the other books as much, which sucks, but we'll see how Vow of Thieves goes. I don't know how long this will take me to read. I don't know where I'll end up after this, but I mean, we still have a long ways to go. I don't know. We'll be trucking along today. I can't sit here and talk for long because I have a timer to run down, so I'm gonna go back to reading this, and I'll update you maybe in a couple hours, see where I'm at. Giving another update. Sorry if you can hear birds or bugs making noises outside. Our air's broken, so I have to leave all the windows open. But I am officially halfway through Vow of Thieves. We have 15 hours and 5 minutes left. What is going on? 15 hours and 5 minutes left. This is getting good. There's a lot happening. There's a lot more secrets coming out and more betrayal. And you still just don't know who to trust as you go through these books at all. But this one especially, the first one, there was things that you were trying to figure out who was good and who you can trust. But this one, there's a lot more characters in here, and we're dealing with a different sort of kingdom or someone in charge and all the people that are working for them, and you don't know where their loyalties lie. So it's very interesting and I'm liking this a lot. And it's one of the things where our characters are both doing different tasks at the moment and they're not with each other. And you're just eager for that moment to where they get back together and they, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm very interested in this. I feel like this duology and the trilogy before this, they're definitely books that you need to be in the mood for. If you're not, there's not too much to them to where you're gonna be like, oh wow, this is exciting, or I want to keep reading. So you definitely have to just accept them for how they are and realize you're not gonna get crazy fantasy elements. There's not really any magic in here. There's a little bit with the mind, and that's pretty much it. And then you get the war between kingdoms and these leaders and battles and stuff. Pretty surface level, but it's still really good. I should finish this within the next 3 to 4 hours, and it's so crazy. Every time I do a 24-hour reading vlog, I'm so amazed. Like, I watch a lot of these videos on here because I enjoy them a lot. I've done 2 myself, and every time that I've done one, and this time now, I'm just so amazed by how much you can read if you make that the only thing you're doing. Because the fact that I started this book this morning and I can finish it in the next few hours and then possibly start and finish another book by the end of the night is crazy. If I get through like 4 books in this vlog, that's 4 books over the course of maybe 2.5 days, and that just blows my mind. It really goes to show if you have time to read, you can read a lot. I'm gonna go back to reading and I will update you probably when I'm done with this book, or maybe when I get to the 12-hour mark. Book 2 is finished. I finished this faster than I thought I would just because the ending picked up a lot and it was a faster pace. The chapters were becoming shorter too because there was so much happening, so it was switching back and forth between point of views a lot. But it got really good. I really enjoyed this actually, and I literally said that I don't tend to like the sequels in a series better than the first book, but I like this one a lot better. I think I'm gonna give it a 4.5. I'm gonna sit on it for a little bit too, or like by the end of the month it might change. I really enjoyed it. There wasn't anything that I didn't really like. I'm not obsessed with it, but I had a fun time. It was a fun adventure. I really like the characters. They grew on me a lot through this book, and I did start to find a connection with them. Our female main character is absolutely amazing. She's super fierce, strong. I highly recommend this duology if you have not read it yet. I'm glad I finally read this because this has been on my TBR for a long time. Now I have my stack of books here that I can pick from. This is my August TBR, so obviously I'm trying to minimize my TBR, but specifically my August TBR. Dance of Thieves was on my August TBR, so I have one of those gone out of the 7, and now I have these 6 left. I've chosen ones by Veronica Roth. I don't really want to do that because that's going to be another fantasy. Collide is a hockey romance, and I'm not really feeling that right now. I am kind of feeling a romance just to get a little lightheartedness going on. I may do Not Another Love Song next by Julie Soto. I really want to read this book. I'm so excited to read another book by her because I really liked her debut novel. I think I'm going to pick this one next, and then I'm going to just try to pick my next book now because I'll definitely finish that in this time frame. I didn't even tell you how long I have left. We are now at 12 hours and 50 minutes left to go, so just under 13 hours. So I'm gonna read Not Another Love Song next, and then after that I think I'm gonna start I'll Give You the Sun because this has been on my TBR for years, literally years. When did this book even come out? 2014. I've probably had it on my TBR since 2014. I don't know how often I'm gonna update now as we go in. What time is it? It's 3:41. I think I'm gonna take a little breather right now, wait a little bit until we start the next book. I will see you when I get started on that, and then I will see you when I have another update. Okay, I'm reading in a car for the next couple hours probably, so I started the timer again. We're starting Not Another Love Song. I read 1 chapter, so I'm on page 23. I'm already giggly. Okay, so basically we have our main character Gwen. Julie Soto's first book was Forget Me Not, and in that book there was a wedding planner, and she's actually in this one because this one starts off with Gwen going to a wedding. Her and her duo partner, he plays the piano, his name's Jacob, and she plays the violin, but they were hired to do this wedding kind of last minute, where they were replacing another duo that was supposed to be there and couldn't make it. So she shows up at this wedding, and our main character from Forget Me Not was in there, which was cute because I love that book, so it was nice seeing her again. Gwen gets there, and the bride is freaking out now because she has a violin and not a cello. I guess the bride wanted someone to play the cello. Gwen's like, okay, well, I don't really know how to play the cello. Like, I've only played a couple times when she was younger, whatever. She only knows how to play the violin. So then we have who is going to be the love interest. His name is Xander. He shows up because he's in the wedding party and he plays a cello. He brings his cello. So then she just ends up having to play it, which is terrifying. My anxiety would be so bad. I was in band in high school. I was in color guard. I used to have dreams. I actually still have those sometimes, but I had dreams when I was playing a show or whatever, like halftime during a football game, and I would forget the drill, like where I have to go, or the whole routine, and then I would always wake up like right before the show would start, so I don't know how it would go, but I would have to wing it. So just reading about that, it reminded me of all the dreams that I had where I just forgot everything, and oh my god, I couldn't do it. But she did it and it was great. So first chapter, I'm already loving it. There's like some cringy things already, but it's one of those books where it's just gonna be a good fun time, giggly. I'm here for it. I'm gonna continue, probably just binge this. Well, I have to because I'm doing a 24-hour readathon, but I think it's gonna be good. Alright guys, we have some chatting to do. It is now the next day. I stayed up until 2 a.m. to finish Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. I really love this. I'm going to give you a little more on what happened in the story and what the plot was before I get into my thoughts and what I have to say. The whole concept of this is that Gwen and Xander are both in the same orchestra, and they kind of have a little rivalry because of the whole first chair situation. If you've never been in band and you don't know any like music terms or whatnot, if you're in any sort of orchestra, concert band type thing, then there's a first chair, which typically means like the best person that plays that instrument. So Xander plays the cello and Gwen plays the violin. Gwen gets offered this first chair position because of certain circumstances, and Xander kind of is mad about that, but you don't really know why. There's a lot of backing mystery to his past life and even Gwen's that you find out along the way, and I think it's really interesting. I like how those came up and the times that they came up. I thought it was really well done. But they do have a little bit of that rivalry, and then they're also attracted to each other, so you get their little romance and their tension. There's a lot of tension in here. The tension in here is very good. I will say that I think the tension came up at the right times and there was a perfect amount leading up to their romance. I thought the pacing was really well done. I like that there wasn't a lot of different location switches. It took place in the rehearsal space mostly and back at their apartments or whatnot. There wasn't too much going on to where it felt like it was all over the place, so I really enjoyed that. I think sometimes when you don't get a lot of location changes, it could seem boring, but this one was well written enough to where there was a lot happening in those certain situations, and it was important to the story that you didn't need many different things happening in different places to feel like you're not going to get bored. Yeah, like I said, the pacing was really well done. I think the flow was really good. Everything came together like it needed to. The timeline was great. I really, really loved it. I did have 5-star feelings most of the time, but I will say the last 60 pages, this book is 365 pages, and which that's not long, but everything that we were waiting for kind of got wrapped up around the 300 page mark. Honestly, like I think everything was perfect. The romance was hot. I liked it a lot, and I really like these two characters and their connection through music. So I feel like everything got wrapped up. It was literally perfect, and I was like, this is definitely a 5-star book. Like I didn't see anything wrong with it. But then the last 60 pages or so, I just thought was a little unnecessary. There were a lot of complications that came up with different characters that caused issues with our two main characters. I was just really not into that. It definitely gave more exciting things to the story because there was a lot happening, but it just seemed like it was complication after complication. When one thing happened, they were trying to fix it, and when they almost got to fixing it, another thing popped up and they just fell back again. And it was so much in the last 60 pages that I don't know, I didn't feel like it should have been necessary to the story because of how we got the wrap up before that. A little disappointed with the ending, but it was still fantastic. I am going to give this a 4.25 stars probably, and I love it. I really do. I had high hopes for this one because I loved her first book, and this one just was just as good. Now that I finished that, I read for a little bit this morning. I'm on page 56 of I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. This is a young adult fiction novel. It's about two twins, a brother and a sister. From what I know so far, they're both really good at art. Well, Noah's really good at art, and he's done it ever since he was younger. We first get introduced to him. In his point of view, he's 13, and then the next chapter was Jude. She was 16 at that point, and there's quite a bit of family issues going on with them, so we get that little bit of background. I already love the way that this is going and the talks about art and everything, so I don't really know where the rest of the plot line is going to go. I think that they have a falling out, so we're going to get different point of views told from like different timelines of their lives. I think Jude might be the after of them falling out and Noah might be the before. I have 5 hours and 42 minutes left, so just under 6 hours. I should finish around 4 p.m. today. I don't want to keep talking too much because I want to get this done because I have so many things to do that I've been pushing off these past couple days because I've been doing this challenge. So I need to finish this and get back to life and things I need to get done. I'm well into this book now. I'm on page 239, so we have about 140 pages left, I think. I have 2 hours and 49 minutes left. I don't even know if you guys can see that. I think I'm gonna finish this with maybe an hour or a little less than an hour remaining. I'm probably gonna have to start another book. I have no idea what that's gonna be, but we'll find out when we get to that moment. I'm liking this a lot. There's not really a strong plot in here. It's very character driven. I like Noah's point of view better. I like going back in time and seeing, I don't know, just his thoughts and the way that he thinks about everything and what he's going through. Jude is also interesting, but I just don't really feel as much of a connection with her as I do with Noah. So yeah, not really a strong plot. We're just following them through their lives, and I think we're gonna find out why they drifted apart. That'll probably be one of the last pieces of information we get. But there's little connections that I'm finding out slowly that is relating to their mother and something else in their lives. I feel like there's either a little secret thing or there's something we need to find out. So I'm curious to see what that is. I think the only thing that I'm maybe not liking is that the characters seem a little young for what's in here. Jude's only 16, but I feel like a lot of what she's going through and dealing with, she should be older. It's kind of like a little bit of an uncomfortable situation with her age. I'm looking for some character growth. I'm excited to see where Jude and Noah end up. I'm kind of expecting a sad ending. I don't know why. I just don't know why I feel like this book is going to give sad vibes. It kind of has so far. There hasn't been too much positivity in here, so I'm nervous. We'll see. So I'm gonna keep reading, finish this, and then we'll get into our next book. That is book 4, done and complete. I have 1 hour and 8 minutes left, so I'll get a little ways into another book. We'll pick that out in a second, but I think I'm going to give this one a 3.75 stars. I really liked it. I liked the writing a lot. I love Noah's character so much. Jude, I didn't really care for too much, but Noah was like the sweetest thing in the entire world, and he has a soft spot in my heart. Literally wanted to give him a hug every time I read something about him. This is definitely sad the majority of the time, but it's really good. I like the story. It was really interesting. Definitely character driven, like I said before. There's not too much of a plot, but you do just find out how this family deals with grief and what they're going through. There's some lies between them. You see how they deal with that when the truth comes out. I like the art perspective. I like that they were artists because it was interesting to kind of dive into that whole world. We're doing good so far. All these books have been good reads. So 3.75. Now I'm gonna go see what else I'm gonna read. Let me go do some sleuthing on my TBR. Okay, I'm gonna start Chosen Ones by Veronica Roth. This is the author of the Divergent series. I haven't read another book by her since then, so I'm curious to see if I like this one. It does have like a 3.6 rating on Goodreads, so I've been hesitant to pick it up, which that's not a bad rating on average. Like 3 stars is still a good rating to me, but I just feel like when you average out a lot of ratings, if it's not almost to the 4s, I get a little skeptical. This one's like over 400 pages. I don't really have too much interest in it, but I think that if I don't pick it up now, I'm not gonna get to it. This will be a good time for me to just try it out. If I end up DNFing it or not liking it too much, then I'll just let it go and realize that it's not my thing. We'll start this one, see how it goes, get however far into it in the next hour, and then give you like a final wrap up and everything. And then we'll finally be done with our 24 hours. Thank goodness. I don't know why, like, I just want to be done with this so bad. Ew, I hate the feeling of this. There's so much texture on it. Can you see that? And it just feels weird. I don't like it. The 24-hour reading challenge. Thank goodness it's over. I feel like I've said that in every single one that I've filmed so far, but you know, it's rough. It really is. No matter how you space it out, it still sucks, but it's still fun, and I enjoy doing it because you read so many books. It feels rewarding. Chosen Ones, I got 43 pages in. I'm not feeling it so far. I don't really know what the heck is going on. I'm not a fan of the writing yet. There's been some cringy moments already, and it's an adult book, so I don't know. I don't think I'm liking the setup of this, so we'll see how it goes once I get further into it. You guys will hear my opinions at the end of the month. These were the 4 books that I completed. This will add this to the top. I'd say it was pretty good because I gave all these books pretty high rating. I had a really good time. This one we don't know yet. I'll give it this one, like I said, 3.75. Not Another Love Song, I'm giving a 4.25. Thieves, 4.5, really good. My favorite so far. Actually, this one or Not Another Love Song might be my favorite, but I was feeling this one a lot. And then Dance of Thieves, I ended up giving a 4. I'm very happy with what I have read. I'm gonna add up my page count. We'll see how much I got through. Okay, final page count was 1,599. I could have read one more page. And then going into my physical TBR, I have on my Notion a list of all the books that are on my physical TBR. So we're gonna knock these off and see how many we have after. So Not Another Love Song was my last one on there. Delete that. Dance of Thieves and Vow of Thieves. And I'll give you this one. Alright, so now we're left with 34 books left on my TBR. That's really good. I'm very proud of that. We're on to Chosen One, so once I'm done with that, whatever I decide to do with that book, we'll be down to 33. Successful reading vlog. I had a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for hanging out with me while I tortured myself with a 24-hour reading vlog. I'm gonna go get stuff done. I'm gonna go eat and just try to not think about a book for a while because I'm a little overwhelmed with words on the pages at the moment. I will see you guys in my next one, whatever that may be. I hope you have a great day and a great night wherever you are, and I will see you later. Bye.